Beloved beings of light, today we will explore a very important and often painful topic for those who possess spiritual gifts: the loneliness that frequently accompanies spiritually sensitive people. If you have ever felt different, if you have noticed the subtleties of life that others cannot see, or if your heart fills with deep emotions that seem misunderstood, you are not alone. The truth is that many spiritually sensitive beings face this journey alone, and often the feeling of isolation intensifies as their vision of life becomes clearer. Being spiritually sensitive does not mean being perfect or having all the answers. Rather, it is a deep connection with what is beyond the visible. People with spiritual gifts have a keen perception of life, a strong intuition, and a burning desire to understand the mysteries surrounding our existence. You may feel a profound connection with nature, with art, with music, or even perceive subtle energies that many people around you cannot detect. These experiences are wonderful and enriching, but they can also be overwhelming, especially when you find yourself in environments where most conversations revolve around superficial or trivial topics. Imagine being at a social event where everyone is immersed in small talk about daily life, while your mind is exploring depths, trying to understand the meaning of life and the purpose of everything around you. You may smile and participate in the conversations, but inside you, there is a silent feeling of loneliness, as if you are in a secret world that no one else can understand. This loneliness is not just about being physically alone, but about not being truly seen or heard. When you try to share your perceptions or deep insights, you often encounter confused looks or even the disdain of others, which only intensifies the feeling of disconnection. The reason why spiritually sensitive people often feel lonely is multifaceted. First, this heightened sensitivity can make your emotions more intense and more easily affected by the emotional states of others. If you have ever felt overwhelmed in a noisy or negative environment, it is because your perception of these energies is stronger than that of other people. This can make social interactions more challenging. Additionally, while many people focus on daily routines and practical concerns, spiritually sensitive individuals are often drawn to deeper existential questions about the purpose of life, making everyday interactions extremely unsatisfying. The rich inner tapestry of emotions, insights, and spiritual experiences that these individuals live rarely translates well into casual conversations, often leading to misunderstandings. On the other hand, there is also the fear of judgment, the concern that if you share too much of your inner self, you will be rejected or ridiculed. This causes many to hide parts of themselves, further deepening the feeling of isolation. From a young age, society tends to value practicality over intuition, leading many spiritually sensitive people to feel excluded or unaccepted for their unique perspectives. This is the dilemma of being a spiritually sensitive person. Your view of life and the world may be deeper, richer, but also lonelier, as there are not many people around who share these same experiences and perceptions. However, this sensitivity is not a burden. It is a unique strength and a rare gift that allows you to see beauty, truth, and depth where others cannot. The first step to overcoming this loneliness is to accept this sensitivity as part of who you are, without shame or fear of hiding. True connection begins when you allow yourself to be fully you, with all your nuances and depths. As we progress on our spiritual journey, it is important to understand that the reasons why spiritually sensitive people feel isolated are many, but they are all deeply connected to how their perceptions and experiences differ from those around them. As we have already discussed, this heightened sensitivity to emotions and energies can be both a blessing and a challenge. Intense emotions, for example, are harder to manage when you are constantly absorbing the energy of other people or negative environments. This can lead to deep emotional exhaustion, making social interactions more draining, and leaving the feeling that you are always on the sidelines, observing life from an angle that no one else seems to perceive. Another factor that contributes to this sense of loneliness is the simple fact that many people, in their daily routines, are focused on the practical concerns of life, such as work, finances, home, children, etc. Meanwhile, spiritually sensitive people are often absorbed in more philosophical and existential questions about life, purpose, and the search for something beyond physical reality. This creates a natural disconnection, as daily conversations are often not satisfying for those seeking a deeper understanding of life. What could be a light conversation about a social event or a news headline turns into an endless search for meaning, making you feel as if you are in a world apart. This disconnection deepens because the insights and emotions you carry often do not have an adequate space to be shared. When you try to express yourself, you may be misunderstood or, worse, disregarded, as many may find your reflections excessively deep or even out of context. This can result in a feeling of not being understood, as if you are speaking a different language, without finding ears willing to listen and understand your worldview. There is also the fear of being judged, which is a barrier that many spiritually sensitive people face. The idea of exposing too much of your inner world can cause a sense of vulnerability, especially when you fear rejection or ridicule. This fear often leads to defensive behavior, where you choose not to share your true essence with others, keeping the deepest parts of yourself hidden. This lack of external expression can generate an even more intense feeling of loneliness, as your inner world is full of thoughts, emotions, and reflections that, if not shared, become even heavier. Furthermore, from a very young age, we are conditioned to value practicality over intuition. Society constantly teaches us to prioritize what is tangible and immediate, such as professional success or financial stability, while more spiritual or intuitive aspects of life are often disregarded or even viewed with suspicion. This disparity can create a sense of distance, as you feel that your experiences and perceptions do not fit into the frameworks established by the majority. What is deeply meaningful to you may be irrelevant or incomprehensible to others, which, in turn, increases the feeling of being excluded or misunderstood. However, it is essential to remember that this sensitivity, this unique perception of life, is not something wrong or negative. It is a gift, a rare strength that allows you to perceive beauty and truth that many people cannot see. Although society often does not value this sensitivity, it is vital for spiritual growth, personal evolution, and the creation of a more empathetic and conscious world. The first step to overcoming loneliness is to accept this sensitivity as part of your being, understanding that it does not need to be hidden or rejected, but embraced and celebrated. While it is challenging to live in a world that often values quick and superficial interactions, you have the ability to turn this challenge into strength. By embracing the depth of your inner experience, you can begin to seek authentic connections with others who share a deeper view of life. Instead of isolating yourself further, you can look for opportunities to connect with those who understand and appreciate the richness of your sensitivity. In the next part, we will explore how you can transform the loneliness that often accompanies spiritual sensitivity into a source of strength, growth, and true connection. Stay with me, and remember that your journey is unique and valuable, and every step you take is shaping a path that can illuminate the lives of others as well. Now that we have explored the reasons why many spiritually sensitive people feel isolated, it is essential to understand how you can transform this loneliness into a source of strength and growth. Loneliness, often seen negatively, can actually be a precious opportunity for self-discovery and renewal. The secret lies in changing the way you view these moments and using them as springboards for greater understanding of yourself and the life around you. Now, I would love to hear from you. How have you been dealing with loneliness on your spiritual journey? What forms of expression or community seeking have been most meaningful to you? Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's continue exploring this journey together. We are all connected in deeper ways than we can see.